Hello everyone, welcome back to another exciting video of WebGenie. In today's video, we are going to talk about the registration component of our chat application. So we are going to do the registration using the identity, that is ASP.NET Core Identity framework we are going to use. So here, let us add the NuGet package entity framework core. So we are using entity framework here, and we are going to use the code first entity framework method. So let us create a class called user. It is of type identity user, and we are going to create two properties, first name and last name. And this identity user comes from the NuGet of Microsoft ASP.NET Core Identity. So as you can see, we are first creating a model class called user, and after that I am creating an DB context called auth DB context, which inherits from identity user. Now let us open the program.cs file and add the DB context. So I am writing builder.services.add DB context, and we are adding our DB context, that is the auth DB context here. I am using SQL Server, so in the options I am going to add .SQL Server, and for the we have to set the configurations in our app settings.json file. So in the program.cs file, we will declare a variable called connection string. And where does this connection string comes from? It comes from our that is configuration file, that is our app settings file. So we will get the connection string from our app settings.json file. And in order for the SQL Server to work, we have to add the NuGet package SQL Server, and as well as we have to add the entity framework core and core design and tools NuGet packages as well. Otherwise, when we migrate, we will get an error. So now we have added the app settings file, as well as we have added the DB context here. So let's do the migration. So as you can see, the migration has succeeded. Now let us update our database so that this changes will be reflected in our DB. So I am opening my SQL Server Management Studio and opening the database which I have created just now using the Entity Framework core. Similarly, you can see the database that is created in the SQL Server, that is SQL Server Explorer as well. So you can just open that connection and you can explore the database that is just created. Now let us create the DTO class, that is our register DTO. In that I am going to create the properties like first name, last name, email. So I am making the email property as required, and the data type as email, so that if it is not entered in the correct format, it will give a validation error. Now let us make the password property as required, and the data type as password. And we are creating one more property called confirm password to verify whether the password and the confirm password properties are the same, value given are same. So I am giving a compare validation, that is passwords must be equal. So if it is not matching, then it will throw a validation error. So that is what we are doing in our DTO class. Now let us create one more class called the registration response. So it will print the like the message, and if there are any errors. So it will so we are creating a bool property as well as an IEnumerable property to create to record the errors. Now let us create our controller class. So create a controller class called register controller, which is inherited from the controller base class. And now we are going to create a constructor register controller, and we are going to create two read-only properties, that is user manager of the type user manager and an IMapper that uses the NuGet package AutoMapper. So you have to install the latest AutoMapper package here. So go to the NuGet package manager and search for AutoMapper and install the latest version. Now let us create the method to register our user. In the register user method, it reads from the register user class, and if the register DTO is null or the model state is invalid, it will return a bad request error. Now, if there so once the result, if there is a user or if all the properties are correct, then it will return the result as successful. Otherwise it will write the errors inside the errors variable as an IEnumerable property. So all the errors will be recorded here, and it will return bad request as the output. So this is a post method called registration, and in the controller we have to pass the property attributes like API controller. Otherwise it will not understand that this is a controller. So if I run this, we will get an error now.
We're getting this error because we have not added the identity and the service. So we have to register the identity inside the program.cs class. So we have to add like builder.services.add identity, and we have to keep the class, that is our model class,
and the identity role.
Here we can set the rules for our password. So here I am giving the password length as 7, the default length is 6, and the required characters, like it should have contained all the alphanumeric characters.
And I'm adding the identity framework as the auth DB context. That is my DB context. Now I am also adding the AutoMapper dependency injection package, and we'll run this once again.
If we do this, we will get this error because we have not provided anything for our mapping. We have added the AutoMapper, but we have not added how to map the class. So we have to create a class called mapping profile, which inherits from profile class, and we will create a constructor for that, and we will check, or we will write how we will map the different classes. So I am creating a create map method, and here I am going to map the register DTO with the user class. And how I am going to do that? With the username and the email properties.
So I'll just see if the username and email matches with the two register DTO and the user.
Now let us run this program.
API again. So here I am going to give the password and the confirm password both differently. So we should have to get 400 error with the message like password and confirm password must be equal. So that part is working fine. Now let us again run with giving the proper input and check how it will be working. So here it is working fine. I am getting a 201 response, that is the record has been created. So now let us check in our database whether the record which we have created is available in our database. So let me open my SQL Studio, and I'm opening the database. So yes, the record has been created successfully. So yes, our registration API is working fine.
We'll cover the front end part, that is the Angular part, in the next video. So if you like my video, please do subscribe.